Yes.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to be back here with Luan Tran. Yay! I'm Mei Vu Coach, or in Vietnamese, my name is Chị Mai Khôi. Hay là Cô Mai Khôi. I hate that I'm at an age where I'm now Cô Mai Khôi, chứ không phải là Chị Mai Khôi nữa. Anyway, and my compadre clear across the world. I love the black and white of us. I'm like night in California, and you are day in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City.
Yes.
Beautiful. Yay. So we are here on this most delicious conversation for leadership, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Dun, dun, dun. Um, Around this most important conversation, very sensitive conversation called casual sexism. Jump in, honey. What do you have to say about this topic?
Thank you, chị Mai Khôi, and hello everyone. So casual sexism is very new to me. I have never heard it about it before. Is that strange? I don't know. But it's very interesting and actually a topic that now I have become really like interested in this topic and something that I really care about and I want to speak about it more and I think we should talk about it more. So I think this is a perfect, opportunity for us to start with this topic and share. And I hope that there are people asking questions and sharing their experiences too today. So also I can learn more. Um, I grew up in Denmark and been living in Asia, specifically Vietnam and Cambodia, the past almost 8 years now. So some of the things when I have learned about it on internet about casual sexism, I'm thinking, oh, I thought it was a cultural thing. So I didn't really like notice that that was something like. So I have
Do you
a
mean
few,
a cultural thing? What do you mean by that?
I mean, just a cultural thing, like,
Like it's only happened in America or like certain
yeah,
culture?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, so, yeah, I'm very curious, and chị Michael, you have worked with, so many clients. Is it over 2,500 clients and many
Yes.
women and men also, right?
Mhm.
And I think because you also work with, relationships and very much expert in understanding people and women and men. So um, I think today I'm sure I'm gonna learn a lot of things, and I have a few questions. Some cases where I'm not very sure if if this is casual sexism, so I want to ask you about it.
Cool. So let's start. I can't wait to dive in. But let's start with the term casual sexism, because the term itself is new to me also. I'm like, oh, that's a very fancy term to
Yeah,
describe what's happening, right? I've heard of sexism and I've experienced that happen to me. And then there's the casual. So it's implied that the level of being um, discriminated against or
mm,
separated or put down because of your sex, because of who you are, because of you being a woman or a man or uh, a transgender, or there's so much now, there's so much differences now,
yeah,
but it's casual, it's subtle, it's not overt. That's the toxicity in it, that's the poison in it, that kind of can drive you crazy, because you're like, is it me or is it them? Is it me or is it
mm,
really happening, right? And so it could be happening to you and then you're doubting yourself at the same time. So
yes,
it makes it even more painful, because you go home and you're like, oh, I'm going crazy thinking about this.
yeah,
All right.
and yeah, and when you say that, I can totally relate. I think I've been, because I have worked with in management for also almost 8 years. And many times I'm like, is it me? Am I just being a little bit too sensitive? Or, or maybe this
Yeah.
is no big deal, right? But I'm still like questioning this. And who should I go talk to? Like, can I look it up? Like. So,
Yeah.
um,
And you can't talk about this really because if you talk to HR, then it becomes a big deal. Then you're actually
hmm,
the one that caused this, which you're not. It's kind of like a rape victim. It's like you go and you tell someone, and you're being put on on questioning and all that stuff. And if you don't say anything, it continues to happen, and then your confidence erodes. It gets very awful, awful. Anyway,
hmm,
all right. Shall we get more specific?
yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna share the first case with you. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So I have heard from this um, a very dear friend of mine. She before she entered this board organization, one of the board members asked her and invited her to join the board, and she was very excited. And she asked him, this man, so why do you want me to join your board? And the response she got goes like this: "We are only men in our board." And then she said something more. I don't know exactly the wording. Maybe it's a bit different, but it's something like, we are under represented in terms of gender, so we just need a woman to be represented. So it's like, so we can look like we are caring about equality,
Oh,
right?
that's not casual. That's like upfront sexism.
That's all right. And she is a very successful CEO of a company and managing like over 200 people, or leading
Yeah.
200 people. And I'm like, wow, that's the reason why they want her to give her like in your face like that, just because you're a woman. We just need a woman, to join our board, not mentioning, well, because you have this, you know, uh, expertise or skills or competences, we really want you, you will
Right.
be a good, contribution, or, but
Yeah.
no, that wasn't the case. So what do you
Yeah.
think?
Oh my gosh. Well, like I said, that's like an in front of your face sexism. Um, I have one that's just happened very similar to that. Um, I have a client that she's a successful entrepreneur. She already built a company, and now she's moved on to bigger positions and all that stuff. So she was sitting at a board meeting that with some founders, and she has a male partner, and of course they're talking, and then finally this one um, important client sit there and look at her and say something very dismissive, like, who is this woman and what is her name and what does she do here, and she runs the show. And this guy asked that questions, and it was, my client was just flabbergasted. I was just like, and what's fascinating is that she posted on Facebook, and so many people came out and shared their own stories of being um, having that and so much more done to them all the time. And
Mm,
it happens all the time. Even like the last time I was in Vietnam in 2019, before we got all shut locked down and separated, um, I went to a meeting with my colleagues, and it's funny because
yeah.
in our history, I'm his trainer, but we were sitting at a meeting with a bunch of men, and they only talked to him. They didn't even look at me. I'm like the secretary. And I'm like, okay, I'll play the role of the secretary today. So yeah, it happens daily. And to the best of
Your
my,
exact,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, that happens to me as well. And this, I think this is where I thought back then that maybe it's a cultural thing, when I mentioned that earlier in our conversation. So last year, one of my friends, he's a business owner, and he asked me like, "Hey, Lon, let's do, there's this small business opportunity that you might be interested in because it's about, it's sustainable product, sustainability, and da, 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 and it's Vietnamese product." So I'm like, yeah, let me look into that. It sounds interesting. I want to support the local, manufacturers, producers here, and so we met up with, but it was actually a Korean company using Vietnamese products sourcing,
Oh,
right?
there's a
So
lot of
we met.
that too.
So we met with this Korean guy, the owner of this company, and he's yeah. Anyway, I was there and we introduced each other. He only looked at my friend, the whole time. And when I introduced myself, he still did not look at me or anything. And every time he asked questions, never looked at me, only at my friend. And also when I, then contributed, I shared some things, I asked questions, didn't look at me. I was like, is it a Korean thing or is it just, because again, this question, is it me or what, right?
No,
So
it's not you, it's them.
like,
It is real. This stuff is real. People are dismissing us, or these situations. I mean, it also could happen at a restaurant. I would go out to eat with, say, my sweetheart. We're way too old to call boyfriend. My sweetheart, and he's an older white man, and I'm an Asian woman, and so often people would just look at him and not talk to me, and it's like, hello. Yes.
yeah, that's me too.
Uh-oh, I lost her. Come back. All right. Hello. I thought I lost you.
Hear me? Sorry, I just
Yeah,
got a call. So yeah.
I know these crazy things.
Can you hear
Okay.
me?
So, yes. What about the second scenario?
The second scenario, let's see. Oh yeah, this was
Oh, internet.
hello, Chi. Are you still
Okay.
there?
Yeah. Second scenario.
Oh no, I lost.
We can hear you.
Hello, can't
I
hear
can
them.
hear you. I can hear you. How about now? Come back. Sorry about that. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Here she comes. Oh,
Chị ơi, I lost the.
can you hear me now? Nope.
What is happening?
I can hear you. La la la. Can you hear me?
Can you still hear me, chị?
Okay. Yes.
Oh no. Can I try to log out and then go?
Yes. Okay. So it's just me now, and we'll talk about casual sexism. It actually started by there's a really great series called Mrs. America. I don't know if you guys can access it. It's on Hulu. Uh, and another movie called Bombshell, which is the story of this female broadcaster for a, a very big news, a very big media company in the United States called Fox News, and she had to turn the CEO in because of the blatant sexism, and it can be downright detrimental. Can you hear me now, honey?
Yes. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
That's
Can you
okay.
hear me now?
Yes,
Is
I
my
can hear you.
sound okay?
Yep,
Okay, great.
you're good. Tell us the second
Yeah,
scenario.
the second scenario. Yeah, it just happened. Yeah, let me ask you: is this casual sexism? I'm not sure. So, um, you know, so often I have reflected back, and I've just seen like so many cases now, and it's been a normal, like maybe a habit. Maybe we don't even notice. It's subconscious. But when we introduce women, usually it actually this happened just yesterday, right? So my co-host, we are recording for a TV show called Get Hired, and
Mm-hmm.
my co-host, a very young, talented, smart woman, she introduced. We were rehearsing, and she introduced our special guest, very successful HR people, directors, and she was like, "Yeah, and we would like to introduce our two very beautiful women." And I told her like, "How? Please, if you want to mention something about their appearances, that should be the last thing. Please mention something like successful or smart or talented, something. It's also something since I think maybe since I learned about the casual sexism, like, and then I also started to become more sensitive, right? I noticed it actually back then. Now I reflect back, like when people introduce me and they use, words like, "Oh, this is our beautiful general manager" or something. I'm like, no, I feel uncomfortable. Say something
Mm.
else. How would you introduce a male general manager, right? So they would use
This
other
is
words.
my our cutie pie CEO.
No, right? So, you
Our
know,
handsome CEO.
so yeah, I don't know. I've been asking myself, is it me? Am I being too sensitive? I don't want to be introduced as the pretty general manager, or the cutie, or but that you would never say that, about, yeah, this is a very handsome general manager or something, right?
Well,
So
okay, this is a good one. This one is a tough one because uh we have to look at both sides on this one. Now, whew, this one is so good. Um, Here's the thing: being a woman, our beauty is our power. Our beauty moves the whole world and can open hearts, can really do so much with just our beauty and our grace, right? So to be seen as and to be acknowledged as beautiful, I think it's really good. However, where society is right now, it's a very touchy thing to say that from both sides actually, right? So from the manager's side, she could feel insecure. She could be like, "What? Just my beauty and not my smart?" There's a constant arguing. What about my smart? What about my worth? Okay, you're not seeing that. So that caused that sensitivity, and at the same time, the person who delivered it could also box you in that pretty box also. In other words, to say she's beautiful could imply or could put a box around us. So it's such a tough one, because I would hate for us women to disregard, disown, disrespect our own beauty, because that's an important aspect of ourselves. Now, when we say to the man, our counterpart, here's our handsome CEO, everybody's happy. He's all like, yeah, now he's getting even more bigger. But for some reason with us, when we are saying, here's our beautiful CEO, we get kind of like, what, don't you see other things about me than just my beauty and my boobs and my hair? Like we have that argument. So
Yeah.
I totally get the complexity of this one. And I think fast forward, like, before we end, we will talk about, well, how do we counter this? How do we, knowing that this exists, how do we deal with this, right? So let's do the third scenario, and then we'll do the how do we counter it. Okay?
Okay.
Did
Yeah.
I answer? Is that a good answer on that?
Yeah, it's I think it's very interesting also to learn that, right, what did you say, we should not disrespect our beauty, and so I agree with you. But yeah, I am sensitive, to that. I just don't like to be that, this pretty beautiful general manager. They can mention that, but as the last thing they say, if they say something else first, is nice. That's also what I said to my wonderful co-host yesterday. Okay, save the beautiful one as the last thing in your description. you know so yes, they are beautiful, no doubt about that, but please don't mention that as the first thing. Just also, like, on National Women's Day, I also saw a video where about Lego, where these very creative, small, young, uh, cute girls, they were playing with Lego and building and being creative, and it was a beautiful, very short video, but very beautiful. So I think, yes, from young, small girls, they were being told from very young age, oh, she's so pretty, she's so beautiful, and then the guys, the boys, oh, you're so smart, you're so strong, you're so so those I have, like, discovered. Yeah, I see. We were, like, taught and shaped from very young age that we just need to look cute and beautiful. But we also need the other side to be told that we are smart and we are funny and we are talented and all of that, right? So I have become, like, more sensitive, over the years
Yeah.
to some of those things. So,
Well,
anyways,
and
you
and
asked me about
hang on, there's one more thing about that too, is, like, you want them to put the beauty behind the other stuff. The
yeah.
problem is your beauty leads. Your beauty is the first thing that we see and are moved by, right? So I think there's something really important about this, is our beauty move people's heart, inspire them to want to be around us. So there's nothing wrong with beauty leads, right? Like, but I think there's a lot of times women have a hard time with our own beauty, and we don't want that to be. We want to be known and seen as beautiful, but then when it's pointed out, we get embarrassed, we get ashamed, or it stir up the I'm not good enough, instead of, ooh, I'm beautiful and powerful, and let me start there. And then, now watch this. Here comes my smart coming in, and my wisdom and my power. Bam, right? So
Mm,
I think we want them to lead us with, oh, she's smart and she's powerful, and then she's beautiful too. But that's not how we come across in the world. We show up. I mean, look at you, honey. You look so beautiful. That's the first thing that I see every single time I see you. It's like, she's so beautiful and so elegant and so graceful
Thank you.
and so smart and so competent. And look at all the things she does, right? So these are the things that the impact that you have on me, and on the world, I think. It's okay to lead with
Yeah,
beauty, honey.
I think yeah, what you say is important, and I think yeah, a lot of women need to own that more, and yeah, I think there's something about it, that we just want to prove that we are good enough, so that's why this sensitivity comes up. Like I just don't want to be pretty, I want to be smart and talented, and you know, so okay,
You
yeah,
are.
I'm inspired, but I'm still sensitive, and
Yeah.
I see, especially here in Asia, right, with all of these, cosmetic surgery, and people just look, its appearance is so important, and I have seen, working in different corporate here, HR putting in there, when they look for people, one of the first criteria, good looking, and I'm so like, why, you know and
Casual,
I grew up
not so casual sexism. Good looking. You have to be good looking.
not so casual
Not so
sexism,
casual.
and I remember I went straight to my boss. I'm like, what is this? Is this how we want to, be
Yeah.
as a company, and like all about, only recruit good looking people? So growing up in Denmark, where, equality is one of the most important values, right? You'll get so much in trouble for this discrimination. Um, so yeah, I'm a bit sensitive also, maybe because I grew up in Denmark with this, people
I
are
have
super.
something to say about Denmark people. So hang on.
Okay.
So I had such an honor to have been to Sweden and doing a lot of coaching for Swedish women. Um, uh, and what I learned to my surprise was one of the outcomes that my clients complained about was that their culture is so equal that their femininity is not even being seen. So
Mm,
they feel like cardboard. They're like, people don't see me, my sensuality, like, they go to a Latin American country or something like that, that are much more, um,
yeah.
mach-
Yes.
machismo and much more uh, in your face about
Yeah.
sexism. That there's a problem there too, but uh, in the Nordic country, it's not free of this problem. They go so much overboard that then the women feel very masculine and they
Yeah.
can't find their feminine. They can't find their beauty. That's the crazy part, right? So then there's a cost to that also.
Yeah. Yeah. I do see that what is it called? The pros and cons of both sides, So yeah, it's tricky, huh?
It is. It's a very and poor men, right? I mean, like men are built now. I'm gonna generalize, and then there's also the problem with men. But men are built loving women as is. They just adore the heck out of us, and they love our beauty. So they want to. They're attracted to our beauty. We're like, the honey, and they're like the bees. And so they come in and it's like, oh yeah, the first thing I see is beauty. I want to be around this beauty because it elevates me. And then we're all offended by that and we smack them for it. And they're like, I am so confused. And then, anyway, so it is a very complicated thing. Now, that's normal generalization. And then there's also men who are in their power and abuse and take advantage of women and do all that stuff. That's upfront,
Yeah.
downright sexism, horrible stuff. I'm not condoning any of that. I'm just saying, how can own our own beauty and our power and our smart, and it's okay to lead with our beauty, knowing that some men or some people will abuse that or step over the line, and we'll have to redirect them or smack them for it, right? And um, so yes, it is complicated. It's not an easy answer, but if you feel it, it probably is true. So don't discount it.
Mm.
Yep.
With your sharing just now, it makes me think about something. I've been asking myself this question: why are there so many men from the West? I think I used to ask a couple of friends actually, why so many men divorced or choose to get a divorce from their Western wives, and then they travel to Asia, right? To
Yeah.
Thailand or Vietnam or other countries to find
Yeah.
a wife. And then now that you say that, and I think one or two friends used to tell me that, yeah, the Asian women are just much more feminine. And so, like what you share right now, like compared to like the Nordic countries where they're just very like, not very masculine, but yeah, maybe what you said, maybe less like um, feminine or owning their beauty or all of that, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just
that
thinking a
I
bit there.
right. Well, I I I marry a white man and I date mostly white men, so I'm familiar with that also, and I do see that it's like the white men will procreate. They will have babies with a white partner to further the race. But once that job is done, it's so subconscious. It's not like this is my plan, It's very unconsciously done. But once they're done with that, the the white they just lose so much interest. And for some reason, like the Asian women have more colors. I don't know how to describe it. More colors, more just exotic, I guess. And so there, and that's a whole new conversation. Let's do that one another time.
Okay, yeah,
Why
definitely.
do white men uh go to yeah. Anyway, what did they call that? Asian fever or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yellow fever?
No, yellow fever.
No?
Yellow fever, yeah. That's another conversation. Okay, last scenario.
Last scenario, actually, this is related to the previous one. And I was, again, I made a mistake. I thought like in the second I introduced uh, one of my um, business partners, and I met his wife for the first time. But I used to see her photos before, so I knew that it's his wife. So I was like, oh, and welcome, good to see you, Martin's wife, Martin's beautiful wife, and then he said, yeah, she's not only my wife, but she's also the managing director of our company. And then I was like, oh shit. Then I should have introduced her. This is the successful managing director of Flunamix, and she also happened to be Martin's beautiful wife. So I was like, after I introduced, I'm like, no, that was wrong. I should have
Yeah.
introduced her differently. So I was like, is this sexism? Is it my
Right.
habit? Just always like
Yeah.
so.
Oh, that's so good. I mean, it's so good to see our own unconscious casual sexism, right? I mean, we all do it. It's not just one, it's not being done to us. We do it all the time. From the slightest look of any woman, they do whatever that we don't like or we judge them. That's casual sexism, right? Why would we judge them for that? Or how we introduce each other and what's important to us and what our assumptions are, and that kind of stuff, right? It's so hard. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And did you recover? Did you how did you recover with her?
Well, I think in the minute I managed to introduce her like as the managing director of the company,
Yeah.
so I was happy that okay, but I did learn from that. Okay, next time I need to do a little bit more. But actually, I did not know she would join the meeting. Otherwise, then I would do a little bit
Right.
more research about.
Yeah.
So it was very spontaneous. She just hopped on, and yeah. But
Yeah.
definitely, I think I'm being more aware of these things nowadays, and I'm very happy about it. To be more aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I had this conversation with a friend about who buys the coffee. Usually, in my experience, it's always the female colleagues who buy the coffee for the office, or the ones who taking the
The
minutes of
order.
meeting. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
take notes and all of that. I'm like,
Because
why?
you
Why
have
are we
better
not?
handwriting.
Yeah, and even my friend said, "Oh, maybe because if you buying many different kind of coffee for all of these people, women just are better at remembering the different kinds of coffee."
Right. It's true.
Is it because they are trained to do that? They are so experienced, and we don't give the men a chance to do that also. Then maybe they also will become better, at that, those kind of things,
Yeah.
or what?
Well, and it's kind of also it comes very much in our DNA too, though. A lot of times, mm, this is again generalizing, not 100%, but in general, women are trained to be more service, taking care of everybody, and we have an extra leg on the chromosome for caring and remembering. So it's kind of like we're built that way, and 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 men have been sheltered from doing those kinds of jobs. We don't expect them to do it. We don't ask them to do it. And then we are so quick to do it, and then they don't even get a chance in there. And then they get used to it, and then we train them to treat us like their servant. So it's like a loop, a big old loop, right? But
Yeah.
but on the other hand, arguing about it, making listen that doesn't work either. So it's just really complicated about how do we share this, and how do we coexist and partner with each other, and respect. I guess if there's respect there, it doesn't matter who is bringing the coffee all the time, right? I mean, if you respect me, I can bring you as many coffee as you want, and we're still good. But if you don't respect me, it shows.
Yeah, it's so true. What you say here, key respect. Um,
Yeah, respect, and also, I think women can need to also learn in that scenario. I think we also need to learn to gently push back, gently take on other roles. Like, if they say, "Why don't you take notes? You have better handwriting." And you can just say, "That's all right. We don't need
thank
handwriting because
God
we're
we have
typing now."
laptops today.
I know, right? Or we could say, "I am a good note taker, and today I would like not to do that." Right? I would like someone else to take that role. I think part of it is, yes, it's definitely dish out onto us all the time. And it's up to us to be so grounded in our power, in our wisdom, in our knowing of ourselves, that when it does, we can easily step aside and let it slide instead of take it on and be a victim of it, right? That we need to practice saying, yes, thank you for recognizing that I'm a good note taker, and today I would like not to do that. No excuses, no reason why. It's just that I don't want to do that today. And pass it on to someone else and let someone else have that role. I think part of the problem is we disempower ourselves and we don't give ourselves voice to be able to say things like that. And then it keeps escalating. And yes, this world, I, I really could say no matter what country you're in, it still has a lot of subtle prejudice, subtle casual sexism toward women and toward differences, toward men, toward races. I mean, we're still learning to just be with other humans. It's so sad that we haven't learned this lesson yet. Like, why is it so hard to respect and love people? Come on now, let's get it together.
Yeah. Uh, but definitely, don't you agree that we should, talk about these things more so we get out of, that, old habits, and I think, like you said, right, it's very right, it's also very powerful, especially for women. Thank you for recognizing I'm a good note taker, but today I would like not to, right? I think, yeah. But when people are not aware of that, they will still just, do that all the time, like, because, oh, that's just my responsibility, or just my role, that I need to do that. Oh yeah, I'm the only woman here in the room, of course I'm the one taking minutes, like these kind of things. Yeah.
And
So
I think also I am pitching that we accept the fact that we're beautiful, and it's okay. Let it be okay that that is what people see the first thing, and that's what the first thing they react to is our beauty. And then we continue to show up and speak up, and it's a nice fun delight and surprise, right?
yes, I agree with you that we need to, yes, I will do this affirmation, like, I'm beautiful, I love my life, I love myself.
It's okay to be beautiful. It's okay to
Yeah.
lead by your beautiful power. Like, again, I think it's important for women to own our beauty and know that that is one of our power and use it wisely.
And use it wisely.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like, the male hormone, they use they take advantage of it. Why don't we take advantage of it? And when we see women who take advantage of their own beauty, what do? We judge them. We go, why does she have to do that? Is she going to sleep her way up to the top? But no. Casual sexism toward our own kind. Right? Yep. Sits in your power, my darling. All right. Enough for today?
Yeah, I think so. We were supposed to do
I
it
know.
30 minutes. Now it's already almost 45 minutes.
Yeah. But thank you so much for having this playing here with me. It's a good beginning, and hopefully as people watch this they can make comments and share their own stories of how it has happened. And if you have a hard time, if you need some answer or something, my goodness, feel free to write to both of us, and then Ron and I will address it and answer and give suggestion if that's helpful.
Yes,
Sounds good.
thank you very much for hosting these. I love all your topics. They are always like super like hot and juicy and controversial and sensitive. I really love it. Thank you for being bold and brave and doing this.
Yes, we still have to redo that Trump show. Leadership, good, bad. Oh, we didn't tie that in today. Good, bad, or ugly. It can be really good. Sexism can be really good. Take advantage of it. It can be really bad and it can be really ugly. Outside
Yes,
tying that in.
yes,
Have
it
a
can.
wonderful day, my love. Enjoy
You too.
your filming and work with your nonprofit. I look forward to seeing what's coming out next.
Thank you, Jay. Me too. I'm looking forward to not next Sunday, but maybe the following Sunday.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Take good care.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.